By now, I would expect everyone has seen Annabelle Comes Home, and I just want to share my initial thoughts about this movie, and I guess you can call this a mini rant / discussion, so if you don't want to be spoiled, please click off right now and come back after you've seen the movie. So where do I want to start? Well, I will start by saying this movie sucked, and my expectations wasn't too high at all, and I went into this movie without seeing the trailer, and from what I got, the plot hole was just so generic, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels like Warner Brothers are slowly making these Conjuring universe movies for the high school teenagers, and that's a bad sign for us real horror fans, because we like our movies with no plot holes, we like for it to be suspenseful, no jump scares, and just an overall great story. And it's only a select few movies out of the Conjuring universe that I like. But I just felt like this movie had a specific formula, just like the rest of the Conjuring movies. Jump scares time props equal dramatic lackluster ending. But Annabelle Comes Home took place at the Warrens Occult Museum, which featured a lot of prominent demons, in particular the demon who possessed the Annabelle doll. While the Warrens went away for the night, a babysitter is responsible for looking after Judy Warren, which is their daughter. Now things take a turn for the worse when the babysitter brings over a friend, and she releases a multitude of demons unknowingly. On paper, this sounds good, but wow, what a poor execution. And you know what? I thought this movie was extremely rushed, which sometimes it doesn't matter with horror movies, but I just felt like the Annabelle spinoff needed a strong movie at this time. I know a lot of people don't like the 2014 Annabelle, but I absolutely love it, and it's probably in my top 10 favorite horror movies of all time. That's right, all time. But I'm one of the rare ones who hates Annabelle creation. I don't get what's the hype about. Everyone says that's probably the second best Conjuring movie in the universe, but I don't think so. And the thing about Annabelle Comes Home, this movie felt like a filler movie, and I honestly don't know why they put this out in theaters. But I want to talk about the pros and cons of Annabelle Comes Home. Now I have a few pros, which include Ed and Lorraine Warren, and it's always great to see these guys on screen, especially in that opening scene. I generally felt like it was going to be a special movie. And another pro was the vintage touch added to this movie. All of the Conjuring universes are deep in the past, but I'm always a buff for seeing vintage stuff. For instance, the old couches, fridges, cars, and the food logos. As you know, it was a scene in the grocery store and I was just looking at all the old logos on the food. You know, that's stuff I look at. I know it's weird, but I love that kind of stuff. And you know, for this movie to be precise in that area, I like those details. So props to them for that. And my last major pro is the incredible acting from McKinney Grace, who played Judy Warren. She's a great actor and she's really on the top of her game. I mean, I seen her in a Lifetime movie. She did real good in that, and she held her own in this movie. She was really the only reason this movie was great to watch. I mean, she made it bearable to watch, and honestly, the rest of the movie was just boring. Until the last 10 to 15 minutes, it was a little exciting then, but at that point, I was already zoned out. But now I want to talk about all the stuff that made me dislike Annabelle Comes Home. Like I said, the whole movie was boring, and yeah, I dozed off a couple of times. Basically, the movie was the protagonist walking around and the demons just following them and stalking them and just scaring them. Now, I mentioned that I liked the opening scene with Ed and Lorraine Warren, but I just felt like it was too much forced, creepy elements. I mean, they overdid it with the fog machine. It was so much fog and it looked fake. Also, you had Ed and Lorraine Warren with Annabelle in the back seat just sitting up. I mean, that's a freaking demon. Throw that demon in the trunk. And speaking of demons, this movie was filled up with so much advertising. And we seen glimpses of a bride, a werewolf, a knight, a priest, a coin man. I mean, there's so many demons in this movie. And to be honest, none of these demons have an interesting backstory from what I've seen. The bride is a ripoff from The Nun and The Curse of La Llorona, and the others are just stupid in my opinion. I don't think they can make money in the box office, but you already know that Warner Brothers is going to try to spin off all these demons. And this is just too much to concentrate on when the main focus and premise is the Annabelle doll. They completely ignored Annabelle in this whole movie, from my opinion. I mean, we got glimpses of her, but it wasn't really focused on her like the title says. And I know The Conjuring 3 is scheduled for 2020, but I honestly feel like this movie was initially in The Conjuring 3, but they scrapped it later on when writing the script. And furthermore, I want to mention how stupid the Warrens are for letting a weak and vulnerable babysitter inside their house, not to mention just leaving keys to their museum out and about. That's very irresponsible on their behalf, and I find it hard to believe that Lorraine Warren couldn't sense what was going on. Even though she was so far away, I know that her and her daughter have some kind of bond where they can telepathically speak to each other or sense things, because her daughter, she can see ghosts as well. And another thing that really irked my nerves and really didn't make sense, and I see it as a plot hole, was the strong demons. Now these demons supposed to be so strong that you got to lock them up, you got to pray over them, you got to spray holy water on them, and it seems to me like none of these demons are strong enough to kill. And I thought there was a moment that could have changed the whole dynamic of the Conjuring universe. The bride tried to stab the babysitter, or the babysitter's friend, I can't remember which one. But come to find out, it was just an illusion, and I felt like that was a huge missed opportunity. And it would have made the movie even scarier. And the thing that pisses me off about the Conjuring universe is, no one is killed. I mean, you had a couple of sacrifices here and there, but no one is really killed in this universe. Either they are possessed or they sacrifice their own life. Which brings me to the Annabelle doll. The Annabelle doll is not even scary, and it's time to move on from the Annabelle movies. These demons have to be the weakest demons in history. You had ample opportunities to kill their prey, and yet they just toy around with them. They always talk about, I need this soul. Well, just take it. I mean, they're struggling with these humans and we supposed to be afraid. Major plot hole in my opinion. Leave a like down below if you agree that these demons are just friendly. Well, not friendly, but they just playing around with these people and not trying to kill them, which doesn't make the movie that frightening. Overall, we've seen every jump scare and predictable scenario in the past movies. The loud noises that create edgy jump scares always make me shake my head. And this movie was simply nothing but a filler marketing tool for other characters. Not only marketing for the characters, but for the famous occult museum that was created by Ed and Lorraine Warren. It's definitely a good strategy to show all these items so people can visit and experience it up close and personal, so they can be making money off the movie and the museum. So it's two sources of income. But like I keep saying, this whole movie was just filled with dramatic effects, and of course the loud dramatic noises. Oh, and you can't forget the plot inconveniences where the teenagers will be so comfortable around the occult museum. I mean, if I was a teenager, I would stay far away from that house, and I definitely wouldn't be just browsing for fun down there, but that's just me. But if you can glance over all of that, you might enjoy the film. So share your thoughts down below about Annabelle Comes Home. Did you like it or did you dislike it? And leave your comments down below. I look forward to reading all of them. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share this video. Be safe. Peace.